Hey guys, Introspection here, and today I'm going to be making a back to school tech video. Now it's probably going to be different from a lot of the other back to school tech videos you may have seen, or at least a lot of the ones that I've personally seen. See, a lot of those videos have things like the best speakers and the best wireless cell phone chargers. And believe you me, I really do appreciate the clean, crisp sound that comes out of a good speaker. That being said, these things aren't necessarily going to help you in your academics, which is what I hope to do in the video today. Now, there are going to be one or two items in this list that, for the most part, are really only going to help kids who are in college or kids who are living in dorms. But if you go to school, or even if you don't go to school, there's a really good chance you're going to find something of value in this video. The first is the SanDisk thumb drive. This thing's about $13.50. The price is going to vary depending on how much memory you actually want in the thumb drive. Not only is it a good standard thumb drive, but on top of that, it is a micro USB out, which essentially means whatever information you put onto the thumb drive can be read by just about any modern smartphone or tablet with a micro USB in. So let's say hypothetically you create an essay at school, and for the most part it's done, you're on the bus, and you figure it's going to be a while before you get home anyways, you might as well finish it, but you don't have a laptop with you. Boom! With this thing you'd be able to plug it into a cell phone or tablet, so long as it has a micro USB in, and you'll be able to read the information that way. And then of course the reverse is also true. If you create pictures, essays, even if you're one of those kids or people who actually create music with apps that have that music generating ability, then you'd be able to transfer the information onto a thumb drive and then view it on any computer with a thumb drive port. Next is the foldable keyboard from Zrollman. This thing's about $30, give or take, depending on where you get it from, but it's got several cool features. The first is the Bluetooth. I mean, yes, of course, it does have standard Bluetooth, but the Bluetooth on this makes it kind of cool. See, instead of you having to pair it to, say, your smartphone, and then unpair it, and then repair it to another device whenever you want to switch devices, it can actually connect to more than just one device at a time. And so instead of sitting there trying to do that annoying process, you can just hit the button and it'll transfer to whichever device you want to interact with. The next cool feature is that this foldable keyboard comes with its own stand. So if you are one of those many people who don't have cases with built-in stands, or just no cases at all, instead of having to deal with that weird thing where you're trying to prop it up with a salt shaker, or doing that other thing where you're trying to prop it up with your drink and then you can't do anything while you're taking a sip of your drink, instead of trying to deal with all that annoying stuff, the keyboard actually comes with a built-in stand that works for both tablets and smartphones. On top of that, it has its own touchpad. Now, you might be thinking that it's kind of redundant to have a touchpad on a device that has its own touch screen, but believe me, it's an annoyance that is majorly rectified with just this simple addition. Not too many foldable or portable keyboards will have this kind of feature, and it just makes it easier to have all the controls at your hand as opposed to having to switch between the keyboard and the smartphone. And granted, it's not a big deal, but it's just one of those things that's really, really nice to have. And of course, again, it is a foldable keyboard. Personally, I don't like the rollable ones because the rollable ones are just a little bit more of a pain to pack up as opposed to a flat device. This one just makes it easier personally for me. And of course, it comes with all these features. So this is the foldable keyboard that I recommend, especially if you're going to get that thumb drive so that it's easier to work on your cell phone or tablet. Next is the Wonder Wash. This one's about $50 depending on where you get it from. This guy has actually made an appearance on my channel before when I made the video on how to save money in college. I'll link that down in the description below. But the really cool thing about this guy is that you don't have to pay it, unlike the washing machine that you're probably using if you're living in some sort of dorm. Now, of course, it is a little bit more of an inconvenience than using your washing machine, but not anywhere near as much as one might actually think. And cumulatively, it will save you money if you're constantly going and doing your laundry at the washing machine in your dorm. Whatever you do, please, I beg of you, do not try to save money by not doing your laundry. Don't do that. You need to do your laundry. And of course, this guy is actually the solution to that. And on top of that, there's a good chance that you're living with a roommate. And so long as you don't use the thing at the exact same time, you could probably both just use one unit. In which case, you guys will be able to split the cost, and it will be even cheaper for you. Next is the Rocket Book. Now, one thing that I always tell people when they're going into school, especially middle school or high school, is to always digitally back up their notes. Now, this might seem like something that only a tech head would do, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a bit of a tech head, but this is not the only reason that I like to do it. Here's the thing. Even though it's good to have notes on paper, especially if digital stuff ever fails, the fact of the matter is, it's paper. It can rip, it can be spilled on. In some cases, paper has even been stolen for some reason. In which case, it's just nice to know that you have all your notes digitally backed up onto your computer. And then on top of that, it might just be easier to sift through the notes on your organized digital computer as opposed to that mountain of paper that you have at the end of the year when you're trying to prepare for your final exam. Well, this device, the Rocket Book, it's about $22, $27, depending on where you get it from. This thing makes it so much easier to put your notes into a digital format. Essentially, you just write with it as you regularly would on a regular notebook. And then when you're done, your phone is able to download the information from the notebook into whatever filing system you want. On top of that, it actually has little markers at the bottom. And say you designate one marker to science, one marker to math, and one marker to English. In this case, you can write your English notes, math notes, and science notes all in the same book and then just mark which category you want the notes to be downloaded in. In this case, the phone will automatically organize everything for you as opposed to you trying to sit there and organizing it yourself. And then on top of that, unlike other notebooks, this one can actually be reused. Stick it in the microwave with a cup of water for however long the instructions direct you to do so, and it will clean the entire notebook over again, and then you can use it for the next semester or the next day, depending on how you're using it. So yeah, this is why this thing's very useful to the average student. Next is the Smart Pen. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this thing is a little pricey. So it might be a little out of your price range, which is okay, but if it's not, this thing's super handy. See, not only is it a standard recorder, as you might already expect, but it has several cool features. This thing's about $134, give or take. Let me tell you guys some of the features. First, as you're writing or drawing something in the notebook that they give you, it records whatever is happening around it, of course. The cool part is the fact that wherever you touch on, say you write the word science, wherever you touch on the word science, it will start the recording of whatever was happening while you were drawing that part of the word. And of course, it has other cool features. You can download apps onto it. Heck, there's even an app where you can download and then you can draw musical keys and then play the musical keys. And of course, all your notes can be digitally downloaded onto any kind of format you want it to. It of course has it's about as good a speaker as you would expect, but of course it has an audio jack, which makes it really cool. And as you can see here, again, everything can be easily transferred onto a digital format, and the notebook, surprisingly enough, really only costs about as much as a standard notebook. So after you buy the Smart Pen, there won't be any extra expense buying the notebooks as there would be just buying a regular notebook. And it even gives you the option to print out an entire notebook if you so choose. Next is the Lacie hard drive. This one's $179, a little pricey, obviously. But if you're in the market for a hard drive, this is certainly an option that you should consider. Since as you can see here, it has the protective casing. Of course, hard drives really aren't asked much, you just put information on them, so to have this extra feature is pretty cool. And does make it a little bit more secure to put stuff into the hard drive. Now, of course, I do highly recommend you have a backup even when you have this hard drive. My recommendation, keep a backup of all of your information on your computer and on the hard drive so that if something were to happen to one, you have the other one as backup. But of course, with this hard drive, it's a little less likely to actually happen. And of course, it comes with its own carrying case, so that's even more protection for when you're carrying it around. Well guys, that is it for this video. Make sure to stay in school. If you want any of the stuff that I mentioned in this video, it'll be down in the description below. If you have any other ideas, comments, anything that you think should have been included in this video, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below. Otherwise, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell button to catch my video in the next 2 weeks. Until then, hear nothing and listen to all. Bye guys.